back to the For Long Haul podcast. This is Blaine sitting alongside,
Brandon.
and today we're going to talk about back to school. But right now you're in the For Long Haul section. Go to 5 minutes and 30 seconds to skip into the. Or wait, is it 5 minutes? Oh
Yeah,
crap! Is it? It's 5 minutes long.
yeah.
Shit. Hold on.
Well, we'll keep this. We'll keep this. Keep on going.
Okay.
Keep on going. No
Okay.
breaks. No breaks.
I guess so. 5 minutes into the video, and then you'll get to the main section of the show. This is just little banter, pre-show thing. All right, what's up, Brandon?
Nothing much. How about you? Okay, so last time we recorded this, I didn't get to talk about one thing I wanted to talk about, but I want to steal this moment to talk about it real fast. Kylian Mbappe, the French football soccer star that led France to the 2018 World Cup and that led them back to the finals again in 2022, got offered a 68 got offered a massive deal to come play for Saudi Arabia and one of their teams in their league, which he toned down. And everybody was talking about that. LeBron James was one that talked about saying, "Hey, Saudi, if you guys got a basketball team, let me know. I'll come and play because of how much money they've been offering plus to come and play in the Saudi league."
Wow.
Like,
So that guy was like, I don't. It doesn't matter what the money is. I don't want to. So
nah,
LeBron
yeah.
James is like, I'll take the money.
Like, okay, so I want to just break it down. I just want to talk about it because somebody broke down how much you'll get. Like, I think it was like a 2-year contract, but like how much you'll get like for like year, month, day, hour, minute, and second. So every second he would have got 19 pounds. I just want to clarify: £1 is equal to $1.09 USD.
Dang, that's pretty close.
So
Okay.
19 pounds a second, 1.1k pounds a minute, 68.5k of I mean not pounds, a euro. What was it saying pounds? I mean euro.
Mm.
So he'll be getting paid 68.5k euros an hour, 1.64 million euros a day, 50 million euros a month, and 600 million euros a year.
How
I
much did
think
they offer him total contract?
I
You didn't
uh
say a billion.
a million. I said million. Let's see. Let's see. I think hold on, let me see if this article can pull it up. Let's see. It was
Well, how much did you say a year?
a year 600 million.
600 million, and it's a multi-year deal.
I think it was. I don't know
And
if
it's
it was for.
billions.
It was either for 1 year or 2 year. I can't remember. Like, so that's how much you would have made in a year. Let's
Well,
see.
600 million in 1 year is 1.2 billion in two. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like they offered $1 billion contract. They just got money to blow.
Yeah, well, like, I mean, if you pay attention to the soccer chants, what's going on, they're just throwing money at players and all that just to
Mm-hmm.
get them in, just to get them to the Saudi league to try because they're trying to build stuff. They're trying to build like tourism more and like I guess the soccer
Mm-hmm.
league and all that more. And they're just like trying to get people. I mean, they offered Messi a bunch of money and he turned it down too.
Uh huh.
He was
I
like,
feel like I
nah,
remember
nah.
that.
It's like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, I'm gonna go to the MLS.
Wow. Well,
No, but like that's a lot of money. Then like some basketball and some other famous people like, yo, I'll come. Do you guys got a league from my sport? I'll come play. And I'm
mm-hmm.
like, God damn. It's like they're just throwing money at everybody right now.
That's nuts. I can't believe that. That's just crazy. Well, no, good for them.
Yeah. And so we got a little bit of time left. Anything you want to talk over, or I got something else if you can't think of it.
Why don't you go ahead? I typically have a lot to say.
This week, well, as of recording this weekend, we have the new TMNT movie coming out, which I am excited about.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yep.
You gotta slow that down a little bit. I barely knew what you said. Okay.
Yep. And the thing about this one compared to the other iterations we've gotten, these ones they seem to be actual they're like 12, 13, 14. They're like actual teenagers. Not like in the 18, 17, 19. They're like just teenagers, just like God, like about to be teenagers, just teenagers. So it's like a different perspective we're
Mm-hmm.
getting from the typical auto teenager, which I think it's nice, and we get to hopefully get a trilogy and watch them grow up and all that, which will be amazing.
Huh.
Plus, Jackie Chan is Master Splinter in the movie.
And that's the rat, right?
Yep.
Damn, that's freaking cool. I love Jackie Chan, man. That dude's awesome.
Time's up.
Time's up. Don't you have to 5:30? Because we're gonna cut out the beginning. Oh wait. No, we kept going. All right, whatever. All right, we're in it. We're good. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the For Long Haul podcast. Of course, it's Blaine sitting alongside,
Brandon.
and if you're there for the pre-show, great. If not, happy to have you here at this point now. Got a little wonky there. We got a little confused, but it's all right. It's Wednesday and it's 105 outside, so we're working.
I think it's basically what a month now straight, or 3 weeks straight of 100-degree weather plus.
Something like that for y'all, for sure. I don't know about us. We've been doing a little better. We're like 5 or so degrees cooler than y'all are there typically. Pretty close to average. Every time I look, very close to that. But to get back on topic, today we're going to talk about back to school, because look where we're at. It's August, and that is back to school time for those of you that are still going to college and stuff like that. And this is kind of more geared towards college, but it can apply to high school. But it's mostly, in my opinion, it's more geared towards college.
Well, like I feel like the first half of the list is geared towards just college and high school in general. Okay, so we have.
I mean, it is.
I feel like 3/5 of our list is geared more towards like anybody going to school. 2 of them are more specifically geared for higher education.
So I think the whole list as a whole, this caters to the most of college, but most of this list is applicable to high school as well. Mm-hmm. So higher education in general, this list is gonna apply to you in whole.
Yeah.
So just kind of get started off. The first thing people are like, "Oh man, it's that time of year already," because you're hearing ads about tax-free weekend coming up.
I actually haven't seen any ads about that yet. Actually,
I heard one on the radio. I think, either an ad or it was just the announcer talking about, "Oh, it's that time of year again. Tax-free back to school is coming." And so I heard it on the radio. Funny enough, I've been listening to the radio a little bit lately. I told a coworker that earlier today, and they're like, "You're listening to the radio?" And I was like, "Yeah, honestly, just like wanted a little something different." And which is very interesting to think about, because like I always just have music streaming on my phone. There's no ads on anything. It's kind of neat to hear some ads every now and again.
I rather listen to the radio in the afternoon than in the morning, me personally.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I feel like it's because I would like to, because I don't mind listening to them talk, but I also want some like music or something every now and then too.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the morning it's more of the talk shows and then like a little less music.
I can see that. On mine, it is more music heavy on the station in the morning, because there's like an ad free portion that they have going on for a certain period, but the music's pretty heavy, and this particular radio station doesn't really have talk show stuff going on, unlike other ones I've been hearing and stuff like that, or like local ones to you over there. I've heard a lot of those, like 106.1 and 97.1. I had talk shows like in the mornings and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I don't mind listening to those every now, but like sometimes I'm just like, I don't really care and all that, or like I just want to have something that I can more like just like turn off, just drive and all that.
Yeah, I typically want music mostly, but I have been into some talk shows before, like 97.1. I think I've been into that one before. But so kind of keep us chugging down the line. So back to school deals, it's coming to where you've got the tax-free weekend, which to say that is August 11th through the 13th. So it's like the Friday through Sunday, and so that's pretty close. And so now it's time for you. If you didn't know about it, now you know. Time to make some plans about it. You're gonna get anything. This is from Texas.gov.
Well, like I was gonna say something about a tax-free weekend, and like this is not all places is gonna have a tax-free weekend. Find out if you guys do or not.
Yeah. So in Texas, that's us. Apparently, it varies in different states, which is something I did not know beforehand. But so here, at least in Texas, that's the date. I don't know if states are in it, that goes for all of them. But in Texas, you'll save money on tax-free purchases for most clothing, footwear, school supplies, and backpacks. Parentheses, sold for less than $100 on backpacks, or maybe it's all of them. During the annual tax-free weekend, and that's from Texas.
No, it can't be on all of them, because like that stuff's gonna add up too fast, and then you're
no. I would guarantee you it'd be individual products. So most clothing, footwear, school supplies, and backpacks backpacks sold for less than $100. So I bet you it counts all those items like footwear. You can buy shoes over $100, but like,
Mhm.
are you really in need of a tax-free break if the shoes over several $100? Like, I don't know, probably not. And but some people money is harder to come by, and those people need it. And so I bet you it qualifies for all of those, which I believe in how this is worded. All those items under $100 qualifies for the tax-free weekend. And tax-free from a Texas store or an online or catalog seller doing business in Texas. So typically that should be automatic. You'll have to keep an eye out for that, and just to make sure. But typically, when you're going to go in a big box store, it's just going to be automatic, and you're not going to have to worry about it.
Mhm.
So that kind of leads to the next point. So now we know tax-free weekend's coming, so we can make a plan for that to save money in that way on stuff that you need. Of course, that I like to say is like you're not saving money unless you needed to buy it, then manage to save money while buying it on an opportune time. But if you're just buying stuff like, oh, it saves money, but if you spend $400 and it was $450, you still spent $400, especially if you just didn't need it at all. But that doesn't mean don't treat yourself. So
Yeah.
make a list of supplies.
Can we actually
for
go
this weekend.
back for a second on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
list of supplies and go to another talking point that didn't
Mhm.
lead into that? Because I feel like this talking point we should talk about beforehand, and that is finding out what your school has offers for free and all that. And by what I mean by that, because Blaine was generally confused when I brought that up, is like all does your high school have a free printer you can use? Or like is printing already added into your tuition and all that? And do they already give you like a set like $20 you can use to print out the facility and
Yeah,
all that?
I
Because
forget
that way
about
you
that.
don't have to buy a printer and all that, or you can just wait to buy the printer later whenever we have a little more cash and all that, and use that money for other school supplies. Does it have a free library that maybe you can check out? Wait, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I honestly, I remember I muted my mic for a second. I was like, wait a second. And I was like, wait a second. Did I forget to unmute it?
Mhm.
But find out if you can rent your textbook from the school, or if you can like rent it from the library and all that, or anything like that. Like if they have any other free resources besides the print, or maybe you don't have enough money to buy a computer, but you're gonna need a computer. Can you go in early, or can you stay
Can
afterwards?
you check out computers? Because some of them have laptops you can check out. Like
That
where I
too.
went to college, and you went there too for a little bit, Brandon.
Yeah.
You could check out laptops, and so
I
you could borrow them.
I think our high school let us do that too if we went to the library. I
At
think
least
I'm
when
not
we
100% sure on
graduated,
that.
when we were graduating, it was more of like they brought it to your computer lab and stuff like that, and the whole class would use them. I don't think there was personal checkout, and I'm very feeling good about that.
No, I don't know why.
But
I want to say yes for some reason. I don't know why, but I feel like our last year they did that.
did they let you
I
take it home?
I think so. Maybe I could be wrong on
That's new.
that.
I don't know. I mean, I obviously wasn't going to the library at all my senior year, so I probably didn't go in there once, especially if I didn't have to. I don't think I did. Um, Probably at all my senior year, because it's not like I was checking out any books or anything for any of my classes. I didn't really need them.
I went there for lunch just to play some chess and all that, just to go somewhere because I was like, I just go to the library and just chill,
Yeah, I was just
do
hanging
homework or
out with
something.
people during lunch. Me not being a self-development individual, just chilling and whatever I was doing senior year. But so, like what Brandon said, we will touch on the point about books come towards around to the
Yeah,
end. We will in depth talk about books because, like, just because you can quote unquote rent your book from your school, it don't mean it's free.
yeah,
It's not. So wrapping back in, you think that's all good there, and then
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
hit
yeah.
the.
Because that's what I wanted to talk about. Because you're making the list of specials. Okay, hold on. I think we should go back to that real fast.
I
And
think that's a
now we
good
can go
point.
into like other stuff about supplies and all that. Like he said, laptop. Do you need a laptop?
Wait. We're not there yet.
Oh, isn't that
Well,
where you were at?
I guess laptop. I mean, I did say laptop, but I wanted to hit on like making a list of supplies, like stuff that you need. I was gonna roll into that because that rolls into
Okay,
another
okay,
thing.
gotcha.
And so like making a list of supplies, right? And so talking about basic supplies, like like for your classes, if you haven't went to college yet at all, I mean, they have like recommended stuff that you should get. But like for what I was when I was in college and stuff that I used very heavily, because it'll talk about, oh, you need all this, you need like a binder and everything, you need like a 3-inch ring binder and stuff.
I usually waited for the first day of class, and then the professor typically told you, or even in high school, the teachers told you, it was like, oh yeah, you don't need this from the syllabus, you don't need that, don't forget about that. Nah.
You might be a preparation type person and you want to get everything done beforehand.
I used
And I
to be.
get that. And I'm not always in that box. I'm in that preparation type box to be ready for everything when it comes to work. When it comes to work, my shit gets done. And I am not the variable that leads to something not going right. There's always somebody else typically messing something up. And I'm trying to have to fix things. That's what I do. I just get it done.
I was that for like freshman and sophomore year of high school. Then I was like, you know what? I just like buy what I know I need, like, you know, maybe a binder or two, a notebook, and then I just go to the first day of class and see what they actually need from me and all that, and then go buy it.
So here's the thing. That's like what you're about to say. I think what you're about to say. Most of the times, you don't need all the stuff they tell you that you need. Literally, do not get all the stuff ahead of time. Every now and again, you're gonna get a professor. And now I'm not. Like, I was in business. I don't remember what you were in school for, Brandon.
Originally engineering.
Engineering. I was in there for marketing, and but I don't know how different it is in like the medical stuff. That could be crazy, like right off the bat, as soon as you get there, like start going. But in like the business field, and especially when you're first starting college, it's a little more lax, and at the beginning of your first 1 and 2 years. But don't buy anything beforehand. Get there. Obviously, you should bring some notebooks and stuff. Like, you're gonna need to write down notes and things, but like notebooks and like pens. I wouldn't use pencils. You got to sharpen those things. I like pens. You can write a whole lot faster with pens.
I
and it just keeps
used to
working.
be a pencil guy, but then I've just slowly over time switched to pen.
Yeah, and so I recommend pen, and I recommend getting a notebook for each of your classes. I used to get the really cheap ones that were less than $1, and they were really thin. And but I will say that there was every now and again I had a couple of classes, not often, just a few, that I actually filled out the whole freaking notebook, and I ran out of pages, and I had to make another notebook for that because it was just the cheapest little thin one. It wasn't like the multi-section thick one. I don't like the multi-section thick one. I like to have a different notebook for each class. So I got a blue one, that's history. I got a red one, that's math. I got a yellow one, that's whatever, literature class, English.
Here's the thing. Or if you have a laptop already and all that, maybe use docs and all that. Because there was one, I did that for one of my history classes. I just like wrote, like, have the stuff on the docs and all that, have the stuff on the notebook, depending if I forgot my notebook or not.
I think it's great taking notes online because it's always available. It's in a cloud. You can like search it, which is really cool. But last I was doing research, it was scientifically you learn the stuff better by actually writing it down, the act of writing it. I don't know if any research has come out between now and then. It's been several years, but it was saying you retain the information better by hearing it as one, obviously saying it yourself is another, and then writing it down yourself, physically writing it down. That's another one there. And then obviously the greatest form of learning a subject is teaching somebody else. So like if you help somebody learn something, you learn it really well.
Mm-hmm.
But so I do believe that you writing it down, plus I can write faster than I could type. That's just one of my, not positives, aka negatives, that I just never became a super fast typer. And so for me, I could write down really fast, and and it's not even that you have to complete certain words. You can abbreviate, and that's another star point. Just a side topic. Just abbreviate some big words. You don't have to write the whole word out. As long as you know what it means, that's what's important.
And some of them are kind of common, like just W slashes with and all that.
But that's the big thing. I mean, the notes, you're pretty much hardly anyone's going to be reading your notes, and if not, I mean, you'll have some buddies or something, or you need to read your notes. So you might have somebody, want to be able to read your notes too. But typically the notes just for you. So just write in the way that you can understand it, and you can abbreviate and stuff like that. It helps you go faster and keep up. But there's a note section. We can hit on notes really hard.
Yeah.
But,
also the ampersand symbol, which is like the same, like the and symbol. Actually, it was like talking about somebody like, why don't you just do that? Like save yourself like couple of seconds and all that.
Oh yeah.
They're like, I don't know how to do that. I was like, oh, hold on, let me show you.
It's just like backwards 3 and then dot. Like that's a cheap and. You talking about the squiggly?
Yeah. It's like
you could do
like
that.
I remember like whenever I showed them how to do it, like I was like at first I was like, how do I do this? How do I do this?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot how to do this. No. It wasn't that. I was like, I told him it's like I was writing notes and I blanked and I forgot how to do it.
Uh-huh.
I was like,
Oh.
because like I was
Yep.
writing notes and all that. I was like, because I was so used to doing the ampersand now. I was like, how do I do it? How do I
Yeah,
do it?
I don't know how to draw the squiggly. I'd have to do some learning. I just always use the line backwards 3.
Okay,
So
but
line backwards 3 line, boom, and that's pretty quick. Obviously, if you never have to lift your pen up, that's way faster. So if you know how to draw that, you go.
yeah. Although I
Boom,
will
hit the next
say, the thing about taking notes and all that on your computer that could be nice is that if you're friends with somebody that takes notes on the computers, they can email them to you if you walk in halfway through class because you fell asleep, or you can send them to it. Right, supposed to, because that did happen to me one year in one of my history classes. I walked in halfway through because I fell asleep.
Yeah.
And like one class began, I was asleep and I woke up halfway through. I was like in the middle of lecture. It was like a night class. I walked in the middle of the lecture. It was a small room. I was like, hey, sat down.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I honestly think like digital notes really is more of the way than writing with paper.
but
So I mean, the best way is probably the way that works best for you, truthfully.
yeah. But also,
But
I
I
don't.
do very much believe that digital notes are the way because the ability to search in the notes and everything, and like how AI and stuff's going. Just an example. I mean, that's the way.
Unless it's for certain classes, because I feel like if it's a history and English, 100%. If it's a math class, that can become a bitch to do online. Because I've had to like honestly. Okay,
Yeah,
side
sins
tangent.
and like
Side
like
tangents.
log.
Whoever decided to make science courses, math courses, calculus, all that kind of stuff for you to do your homework online, whoever thought of that, screw you. You are one of the most evil people to have ever existed. Decided to make science classes, physics, chemistry, calculus, physics-based calculus online to do the homework and all that. Screw you.
I don't even know how you type that stuff.
I literally had a screen. I remember one time I had to screenshot a bunch of stuff. Go to my professor the next day, be like, "Hey, it said I got the answer wrong, but it shows the right. It shows like what I put in is the correct answer." He was like, "Email all those to me, and I'll get you credit for those." I was like,
That
"Thank you."
sucks.
And then he was like, "Hey, you guys, somebody informed me that it marked some questions wrong for you guys, even though you had the correct one. So screenshot those to me and send it to me, and I'll get you the correct answer." And I
Damn.
think it said I failed because of that, but then I ended up passing that assignment because of it. I was like, because like you have to be so fucking careful whenever
Mhm.
you get that stuff. Like you can tell that was one of the banes of my existence.
Yeah. Yeah, I had some of that with like spreadsheets and having to do accounting and with a spreadsheet and you had to go through and fill all the boxes in and there were certain boxes it wanted and you fill the boxes with the correct characters that meant you got it right.
Yeah.
And if you messed them up then you got them wrong. But that was pretty annoying. Not to mention that it was like, oh, it's just like the assignment's just 9 questions. Like, oh, that's great. Yeah, but the assignment has like 15 boxes in each freaking one. And
Oh
so
yeah.
it's like there's like 125 questions in here because I need to figure out what this number is, and then this number, this number, and this number, and then all those add together in this box, and all those are in this box, and then both of those to go together and add to this box, and then this is times the percentage adds to this box. Like so, like it's not just 9 freaking questions. That is
Facts.
not true. At
Facts.
least just tell us there's a freaking lot in there. We get our
Yeah.
hopes up for nothing. All right.
Yeah. But
Coming
like
back.
anyway, I personally say at least one notebook, one pen and pencil, to bring to your first day of class and all that.
I definitely think you show up that way unless you're a heavy note taker for like online or whatever.
Mhm.
If you can do that the most effective, I think whatever most effective for you. Bring what you
Hopefully,
need to be able to take some kind of notes for your classes, either a notebook per class or you have your laptop and you make your different pages.
oh,
Other
also,
than that, don't buy anything at all till you get there in the first day and then figure out what you need. And sometimes you do have a teacher that'll be like, all right, now everybody get out your books. And you're just like, dude, why are you doing this? And so,
mhm.
most of the students in there are literally like, dude, what the heck? She's like, you should have read your thing. And you're like, no shit. We all read our thing. Nobody needs to buy books typically because it's a waste. And so that'll happen. You
Mhm.
can ride. Trust me, you'll make it. Just, wait till Oh, but there one thing you gotta think about, I'm trying to keep this stuff short, is that sometimes you have a hard time getting a book. Not normal, but check stock. for a certain book you need just beforehand to make sure it's not low stock. Because if it's like getting low on Amazon and there's not any more sellers of it, by going through the seller list, if there's only like 2 sellers and one is low stock, you might want to consider buying it now because you can just return it within 30 days if you did need it. That's
And
another
check
thought.
and check what edition too, because sometimes teachers are like, "Oh, you can just use the 12th edition." I think they're up at 215th, but we're not going to use that. We're just going to use the 12th. So
That's very helpful.
make sure you pay attention to what edition you're renting, buying, or
That makes it a
borrowing, and all
lot
that.
cheaper. So if you like, you can get 3 editions older. Those are way cheaper. You can get them
But
used. Very worth it. Sometimes they don't have an online access code though, and sometimes you need that. So be careful
but
for that.
also make sure, like that that the professor or teacher says, "Yeah, you can use this auto edition one."
Oh yeah, don't get it unless they tell you they'll tell you what edition you need.
Yeah.
Typically it's on the notes right next to the book name. Make
So
sure you
the-
get the same edition that they're using because then if you for instance, there's one new edition newer and you buy the newer one, they'll be like, go to page 13. And really you should be on page 15 because your book's different. But so it makes it a terrible time to stay with them in the book if you need to follow along a lot like that.
Facts. All right, so we're talking about
So
getting. Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead. You
Okay.
had a better than me.
I got my timeline going, yeah. So we talked about getting your supplies and stuff that you need. Keep it real light and easy. Figure out what you need, and then after you get there, buy everything else you need to get it going. Because they're going to tell you the first day of class. Almost all the professors are going to be that way. They're like, yes, this is what you need. Yes, you will use the book. Sometimes I got a little side piece of tidbit of good information here before I hit the next point. Sometimes they even say at the first day of class, like you need your book, but you'll find out sometimes that you really don't need it.
Most days,
I don't know how to explain that. But I
I
had some
do.
classes like that. Can you maybe
do.
elaborate better?
Day one of almost all classes, whether you're in high school or college, it's basically syllabus week, where
Mhm.
you basically just going over the syllabus and not really doing anything new. At least always day one, maybe day two. But
Yeah.
basically, always day one of any class, whether it be high school or college, it's syllabus week or syllabus day. So you don't have to usually worry about doing any actual work because they're just going to go over the syllabus, which is going to basically explain how everything's graded, their cell phone policy,
Yeah.
their classroom policy, university policy, and what you expect from this should expect from the class, and their
Yep.
hours and all that, or when
Yep.
you can go into the office and all that.
Yeah.
So you don't really typically will never need your book day one.
You typically have the first week for sure to get your book.
Yeah.
By the end of the first week, sometimes you will start getting a little bit into some of your material, especially if it's a 3-day a week class. But you typically have your whole first week to get it. So that really gives you like 7 days because you got weekends and stuff. But all right, so we got to get out of that. We're making it past the subject, gave as much little good tidbits of information that we could. So now that we're talking about buying your supplies and everything like that, now we're hitting that little laptop thing, like Brandon said. So then this just goes to the section of like tech. And then we'll also add the addition of other stuff like clothing. Like justify if you actually need new tech, like a laptop or something, or like clothing too. If
Or print or whatever camera, whatever you
Yeah.
use for your school and all
Camera.
that.
Yeah, so I mean, if you have a laptop you bought last year, but like, man, I could get this other one, and it's on sale for 1,000. It's normally 1,500. And it's way faster than what I have now. But your laptop you got it last year. I mean, just you got to be realistic with yourself. Is it really? How much of a laptop do you really need? Let's just say to do basic schoolwork. I don't know. Maybe you're in a video editing, some kind of stuff. Maybe then you can justify something like
Yeah.
that. But most of the stuff, almost all the stuff you're going to college for, you're doing like schoolwork and things, like you can run all this stuff on a Chromebook. So you really
Well,
don't need.
I want to step back now. If you're like maybe in an engineering class or maybe
They have more advanced.
video editing or graphic design or game design, maybe you need a more powerful computer than a Chromebook.
But see, that's
So, like-
justified.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But, like-
almost everybody, like the Chromebook applies. Now you're talking about like people who they're more advanced things like
But-
video editing or engineering has like CAD and stuff like that.
But if you just bought a new laptop last year that can run all the CAD programs, all the Premiere, Adobe programs, all the game design programs, all that last year, and you're trying to buy this new one that can also run them perfectly fine, as well as your old computer don't buy it. You just want a new shiny thing. You still
Yeah.
have this good computer, especially if you bought it 2 years ago with the intent to use it for
Hmm.
video, uh, video editing, graphic design, Adobe, CAD, all that stuff. If you
Yeah.
bought that with the intent to do it 2 years ago, and you still have it, and you want to get a new shiny one, does it still run all of them good? And if it does, you're just trying to get a new. You're just trying to buy the new thing because it's new.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the point. Like, I mean, is it justified, really? And
Yeah.
this is you have to be honest with yourself at this point. I mean, you either gonna waste your money or you're gonna try to keep some. Obviously, you don't have to force yourself to live in poverty or like live with the fire method of investing money within yourself and saving money, because
Now,
that's very dry.
if your laptop's making a bunch of noise and like everything's taking forever to load, yeah, you probably need a new laptop and all that.
Yeah, even if like your laptop takes forever to load, eventually like your laptop's gonna get worse and worse, or it's gonna have problems and stuff like that. If you can't figure out how to fix it and it loads just slow as hell, if it's impacting your ability to do everything you need to do with college, that's now a problem
Yeah.
because you want to be able to get your stuff done with a timely manner, or when you go to class, you turn it on, it doesn't take 5 minutes. What if you need to take some notes?
Yeah.
So
Now,
that's something you need to figure out and justify.
yeah, like if you're using your laptop from sixth grade and you're a senior in college or freshman in high and in college,
I
yeah, you
commend you.
definitely need a new one. That's like what 6, 7 years of using
Yeah.
the same laptop. That one is outdated at this point. Yeah,
You
you need a
deserve a
new
new one
one.
at this point. I
Yeah,
can't
you
believe you
deserve a new one.
managed to make it
Yeah.
work that long and still work.
I love how you were kind of laughing at my a bit of an over exaggeration, but it gets the
Uh-huh.
point across.
Yeah. So I was like, you've done great. You just treat yourself at this point.
Yeah.
So the talking about tech, the next point that just comes off of that point, that Brandon brought this up, and I don't know a lot about this, so I'm very curious. Is does your dorm allow or not allow certain
Wait, can we go back
electronics?
for a second real
Oh,
fast?
okay.
Because we also did slash clothes, and it's just basically the same thing. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
everybody goes to new clothes shopping, especially like not as much as whenever you're in college, but whenever you're in high school and all that, almost every summer or every like right before school begins, you always go buy new clothes because typically, especially like from kindergarten to eighth grade, I want to say,
You
you'll grow
growing.
typically. But like probably when you're a junior or senior in high school, you really stop going or not going that much, and you really don't need to go buy new clothes every year. Every clothes
Yeah.
still, and like people will realize this once you get into like college and all that. Like, if your t-shirt like from 3 years ago still looks nice, still fits you and all that, and all your clothes still fit you and all that, and still look nice. Yes, don't go out and buy new clothes unless like you have the extra money and all that.
Yeah.
Like this short is like 4 years old,
It's a couple of
maybe
years. Couple
4
of
years
years.
old, maybe I don't know. Couple. I haven't bought. Well, correction. I really haven't gone out and bought a complete new wardrobe in like a long time. The only
Yeah.
new thing I recently is like I randomly bought a T-shirt every now and then because I thought the design looked cool,
Mm-hmm.
but I never needed it. I was just like, oh, hey, this looks cool. Got a little bit of extra cash. I haven't bought any pants in a long time. I need to, in all honesty, because I only have like 3 ones that actually fit me.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Because I had 5, and that was good, but like I had 6 of them that fit me, but then like half of them got holes and all that. So like unless your clothes have holes and all, just look terrible, you don't need to go buy new clothes, especially when you get older.
when you
Like
say pants, you're talking about like jeans and stuff?
yeah, jeans.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. You could use some more jeans.
Yeah, I also need to get like a new pair of shorts and all that because these ones I need to tie my belt a lot to fit them on to make sure they don't fall off.
Shorts? Yeah, just get yourself
Yeah,
some new shorts.
for the
I
team.
mean, I have the same clothes that I've been wearing for years because now that's not, not growing really. And
Yeah.
I'm been lucky enough to not become no longer growing, but then gain weight to where like my shirts or pants don't really fit.
I'll
I have
lose
had to
weight.
buy new jeans. Well,
Oh,
I'm so skinny, there's not much weight to lose. I've gained a lot more weight since then,
well,
growing, but
you could lose mass, your muscle mass and all that. Then you become a little more skinny.
yeah. But I'm skinny enough already that, like for instance, like the shirt would stay the same really,
Yeah.
and
If anything, it's just maybe
my
a little loose.
pants. I mean, my jeans would get a different little looser for sure. I probably could lose if I really tried a couple of inches, maybe, but I'd have to be really skinny. And but I definitely probably could lose like 2-3 inches around my waist. But I mean, I'm already like a 34, so I have had to buy some new jeans um, within the last couple of years because I just slowly grew my waist size, and to where now it's about a 34, 33, something like that waist size. So, but like I have the same clothes for ages, just because I take care of my clothes. I'm not doing anything. Not a kid that like let's go parkour and like scrape on stuff. So like I don't really get to ruin my clothes. And also the other clothes that I like, you get older, you just go to work typically, and then you do something that you like for fun. And then if you're not really going out all the time, it's like you don't really have any reason to wear all your clothes. So like my clothes stay good for a long time because I
Hmm.
just don't end up wearing them. Because like I have this nice clothes to go out. I've got these shorts and these nice t-shirts and stuff, which are just like, I mean, it's just like a white one or a green one. I like the solid color with a pair of shorts. And so like I've barely worn any of those clothes because I'm not really going out that much.
Yeah.
And so I wear what I wear to I wear my shorts or I wear jeans to work a lot. And so like those items get worn a lot. But and then I have my work shirts. And so I'm really not wearing my nice shirts to work because I'm typically like I have the opportunity to get them dirty. I don't want to ruin my nice stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, now let's go back to what you were saying and all that. Which I confused you by. Does your dome or like apartment complex too allow certain electronics?
I just remembered one. Like whenever the segways or segways, the
Segways.
little hoverboards, like where you put your feet on
Yeah,
them and you
the ones that
roll.
you got.
When those started to blow up, they banned those from Tarleton.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I just thought about that. That's not allowed probably in schools. Maybe they've adjusted it since then, but they literally like banned hoverboards in schools because those were catching fire at college.
Well, that's not what I was originally. Well, you're on the right track, but that's not what I was thinking originally. What I was thinking originally is more like sometimes they won't let you have like a little electric skillet or like a Panera thingy, like the thing that you used to heat sandwiches and all that, or like a
Oh, a
waffle
panini
maker.
press?
Panini press, thank you.
They won't let you
Like
have a waffle maker?
I don't think I don't think so. I know because I remember I was talking to some of the people that
You're not allowed to cook in your dorm at all?
no, I don't think they wanted you to have like like really like, 'cause, like stuff that you could accidentally leave on and it catches fire and all that,
That's
or you
pretty
forget
much
about it.
anything that can cook anything. So you're not allowed to cook in your dorm?
But like you can have a microwave and stuff
That's
like that
not
and all that.
cooking, bro. That's not cooking. That's just heating.
Yeah, but like they from what I remember, from like talking about some people that lived in dorms and all that, and like I think I saw some papers and all that. Like there was like some stuff like that, if I can remember correctly, that it didn't allow and all that. Or you have to be sneaky and all that and bring it in and all that.
I see, and I didn't live in the dorm, so I saved like 50% on my tuition because I
Yeah,
didn't move in. Even more than that, if I wanted to stay in a place that wasn't a kind of a shithole,
yeah.
because they had the shitty ones, and that was doubling your tuition already. So I can't believe. I mean, I get it for a liability. If you don't have all these, typically idiot young kids, to some extent, like cooking and shit in their dorms. If you ban that, then they can't catch it on fire because that'll really mess up your money. So, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like you can't cook in your dorms. If so, that really sucks. Like, because that's like I live in an apartment. It's just a huge ass dorm, and I like to cook in here when I want to. So, I don't know.
Yeah, like yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like stuff like that. Like you really didn't need. They really didn't. Yeah, okay, yeah. Electric skillets, deep fryers, toaster, oven, grills, indoor and outdoors, extension cords. Bring surge protector strips instead. Multi-plug outlet extension, space heaters, halogen lamps, uh, fireworks, uh,
Oh yeah,
stuff like that. Like that's some of the stuff that they did.
halogen lamps.
That
They
was
only
like
allow LED
prohibited
bulbs.
items and all that.
Here's the thing: if you think you need a deep fryer in your dorm, I think you need to be going to culinary school. I'm just
And
gonna be
also,
honest,
what you deep frying and when can I come over?
because if you need a deep, man, I hate my dorm, dude, because they won't let me have my deep fryer. And like, damn, dude, you're deep
Well,
frying stuff in
okay,
there.
okay, okay. And that. Okay, there's probably some story of why they had to put the deep
Oh,
fryer in there.
oh, what do you mean? Some story? They burnt that motherfucker down.
No, no, no,
Uh,
no. This is what I was gonna say. One in that person's defense, one Texas, we deep fry a bunch of stuff.
yeah.
I mean, for the love of God, we have they have deep fried Oreos at a state fair.
Yep.
And oh my god,
Good.
okay, completely side tangent of what I saw on a video recently. I think they said I don't know if you ever seen the videos. It's like how white people ruin like food and all that or something like that. And they're like these people have gone and I think I can't remember exactly what the video said, but they said that they think because like it's making fun of that like that chick that said I have invented the flat taco, and then the Mexican's like that is called a tostada. We already made that. We already know what that is, you white woman.
Okay.
Like they said a deep fried poblano pepper, and then somebody was like, "That's just a chili relleno."
Oh,
that's a chili relleno. It's deep fried already. You just put it on a stick. It's already something. You didn't invent something new.
Oh, I am the first person. Well,
because I think they called it a coney dog, a pepper coney dog or something like that, and they're like, "That's just a chili relleno, what you described."
With a stick.
Yeah. I'm like, personally, I was never a big fan of chili rellenos growing up.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen them. I don't ever order them at a restaurant.
I gotta try them now because it's been a long time. Because I've been liking a lot of food I didn't like as a kid recently and all that.
Yeah, I've been letting some things into my life. More vegetables, of different varieties, like tomatoes. Not really tomato guy, but I eat little tomatoes on stuff sometimes.
Let's see. I've been putting tomatoes on my sandwiches now and all that because I used to always take them off. Now I'm like, nah. I'm just like, just take off the pickles and all that, and the mushrooms if you put them on.
It's just like if it's diced on some stuff, I'll leave it there.
Like even the whole slice, even like if it's like just like not even if it's diced, like if it's whole sliced and all that, I'll leave it there.
We'll see. I have to hit that roadblock first, and then we'll see how that goes. I haven't done that yet. One thing I did recently take off a whole slice off a burger within a week, so there's that. Not doing good for that. So the kind of bring it around, coming around the rear here. We talked about books. That was the other thing that we mentioned. And so like borrowing books versus like renting books versus like buying books.
Now, I don't know if you understood what I meant when I said borrowing books. If you have a friend that already took that class, see if they bought the book or they had no choice but to buy the book, and they're like, "Hey, buddy, can I borrow that book?"
I've heard of this concept called borrowing before, and I would assume you'd borrow it from a friend.
I see you wrote it borrowing versus like renting and all that stuff. So I thought that made me think that you didn't get what I was saying and all that.
Borrowing is a very interesting concept I have not yet heard of. So borrowing, if you got somebody that's like, especially if they're like a year ahead of you, and if they happen to be in the same like major as you can almost borrow like everything from them. Which would be super cool and really clutch because books are very
better
expensive.
if they didn't like make you buy it and all that from them. Then that'd be super clutch.
Yeah,
because they can be like, all right, give me $50 and I'll give it all to you.
That would be really nice. But if they're also smart and less nice, they would realize that they're never going to use those books again. And if they sold them to you, they at least get some money back. And so there's that. So that would be super helpful. If not, then you have renting, and you have buying. I mean, buying is nice because you get a whole new book without any missing pages or anything like that. But
you pay full price.
Also, you're paying a full price for that. So you have to pay premium for brand new. Versus renting and or buying used. I'd like to put that needs to be in there too. Honestly, you should just buy used books when you can, especially because you go on Amazon. There's different like categories. And they're typically pretty accurate. Sometimes you get one that's a little wonky, but if you get ones that are like new or newish or whatever, but it kind of tells you some details. It'll tell you like notes here, maybe a ripped page. I think if you get towards ripped pages, you're getting a little farther into the bad end. Yeah. But it's worth buying used because you're gonna have the textbook. You're gonna use it the certain amount. You're gonna use it, and then you're gonna pretty much never use it again. For most places.
Be careful from where you buy your used books and or rent them from, because I knew somebody that used Check. They didn't have a bad thing to say about Check, except for the fact that I think because of how late they ordered the book, or because of how many people needed it took them about 2 weeks to get it. 2 weeks into college and all that for them to get it.
Yeah, so that sucks. And that's one of the things too that I mentioned. Like, check before your class is going to start. Just go ahead and check to see if it's available. Like I bought all mine on Amazon because you can see like when you're gonna get it, and typically you get Prime on almost all of them. And so I would go to Amazon, and if it told me like, "Hey, there's only 12 of these left," I'm like, "Damn, I'm not the only person going to college over here." So uh, I would buy it. I learned because if it went out, the next option to buy it typically wasn't Prime. It was you'll get it between 1 to 2 weeks or something, and that's
Mhm.
kind of a problem if your teacher plans on teaching it all in the next 2 weeks, but she probably does. So
And if that does happen to you, see if you can borrow one from a friend like that's in the same class and all that.
I've even had classes where I was gonna buy one used and or something like that, or buy it from Amazon, and then something happened, and it was like, "You'll get it in 2 weeks," and then I ordered it, right? And, the next thing you know, this teacher's hitting full steam ahead on the second day, and I'm like, "Oh, shit, I'm in trouble." So then I had to go to the bookstore and, like, spend $100 more dollars than I would have spent on the book, but that was the price that I paid trying to
Tip
figure out, did I really need it? And then waiting just to see last minute. It's a game.
Typically, if you buy it from your college, you are paying a premium usually. They only do that as a last resort,
Yeah.
in all honesty,
You're
because
you're paying for convenience buying it at the college.
yeah,
So
and
that's
it's
something to
gonna
think
be a
about.
bunch more. It's gonna be a bunch more money, but I honestly try to avoid that if at all possible, just
Yeah.
so that way you don't waste. You don't get charged an extra 100, 30 bucks, 100 bucks, however much extra to charge in.
Oh, it's always normally more than $30, but sometimes it's close like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's only a few bucks, and if it's about the same, I feel like you might as well just buy it.
Mhm.
If you're
Yeah.
going to the bookstore at your college, then you might as well just buy it there if it's only a few bucks different.
Yeah.
Especially if class just started. I mean, it saves you a couple days. You might use it.
Mm.
All right.
And also be if you do rent it from Amazon or someone like that, make sure you remember of when you have to return it by, or else they're gonna charge you an extra 15 days.
Yeah. So that.
And then if you miss that, you buy the book outright.
Ooh, I haven't had that happen. Which I don't think I rented any books. Like I just bought them. Which honestly, looking back, it's not something I should have done. But my mom was like, "You might as well buy them. You get to keep them." And I was like, "I guess that makes sense." But like, you're never gonna use them again. And I had books that I bought for classes that I have a Saran wrap and I never opened. Very
Mm.
few, only like two.
Yeah.
But
Like
at the point is, I bought a book that they said you needed to have, and they acted like you needed to have it. But then I realized I didn't freaking need it, and I never opened a book because somehow we would look at the book, I think, in class
mm,
together, and so I was able to look at the book in class instead of having the book, and that was the only time we used the book was in class, and so I was like, I literally just read the book off the professor, so I bought the freaking book, and this was a further down the line class, and I never took it out of the Saran wrap.
I
I
think
could
that
have
happened to
studied.
me once because like the second classes were done, I was full steam ahead on something else, and it was literally the last thing on my mind. Then I checked Amazon. I was like, oh.
There
Well,
you
I
go.
guess I own you now, buddy.
There you go. Well, I think that concludes the end of our tips for going to college and back to school. Getting in there, saving some money, making a plan.
Yep. All I gotta say is good luck to everybody. Hope you guys have a good academic year.
Yep, there you go. Best of luck to you. What do they say when you go to school in like Europe or like uh, Britain? They call it. Remember that? Remember that we interviewed that guy a long time ago? He called it something else.
Oh fuck.
At this point in
A
time, I'd like
gentleman
to
and a
remember.
scholar or something like that.
What? No. What do they call school?
Oh, fuck.
They call
I
school a gentleman and a scholar.
I know university is typically just
I
referred
went to
to
university.
it's uni. They just typically refer like college and
There you go.
university as uni over
Uni
there.
or university. We say going to college. There we
Yeah.
go. That's pretty much it. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you being here, and stay tuned for the next one. We'll do a little bit of our exit here, so you guys can check us out on Instagram at For the Long Haul Podcast, just like our name here, For the Long Haul Podcast on Instagram. And now, if you'd like to shoot us an email, you can email us at ftlhpodcast@gmail.com, just like For the Long Haul, ftlhpodcast@gmail.com for sponsorship information, anything like that. Now, we do have a YouTube channel because we're already recording this and looking at each other. We figured we might as well just record it the whole way and just post the videos to YouTube. If people want to watch it, feel free. If you want to just listen, that's great too. We're just glad you're here. So check us out on YouTube for Long Haul Podcast, for the Long Haul Podcast. All right. Thanks everybody for being here.
You guys have a good one. See you guys next time.
Hasta luego.